know it's Friday night. Y'all know how I be on Friday night. So I need to know that y'all in the building tonight and that you're going to be with us. So if you are with me tonight and you are happy to be here, or you're looking for some golden nuggets, let me see you drop some ones in the chat so I know you are with me today, because we're about to get some nuggets and it's going to be information. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I wish everybody was on here because I need that chat to light up with those ones. That's what we're doing tonight. I'm so excited, so excited, so excited. So, you know what we do every Friday? We are going to do our declaration. And what I would like for you to do, of course, is to help me out and just unmute yourself. If you can unmute yourself and just repeat after me. And let me just explain our declaration. Our declaration is our declaration in our program, because this is what we want to do. And this is what we set out to do, to help people change from where they are to where they want to go by using the strategies and the concepts that we teach. So if you can repeat after me, this would be great. This is my life.
This is my life.
I declare today my mindset has changed.
I declare today my mindset has changed.
I am clear about my path.
I am clear about my path.
I am debt free.
I am debt free.
Okay, wait a minute now. So we're gonna start over because I don't like the energy here. I need some more energy. We're gonna have to do this over. Are y'all ready for it?
Let's go. Let's go.
Are we just gonna speak it? We need to declare this and we need to say it like we mean it. Are y'all ready?
Yes, we're ready.
If y'all really ready, let me see you put some twos in the chat because I don't believe you. Let's go. Let's get it. All right, let's start this over. This is my life.
This is my life.
I declare today my mindset has changed.
I declare today my mindset has changed.
I am clear about my path.
I am clear about my path.
I am debt free.
I am debt free.
I walk in the understanding of my finances.
I walk in the understanding of my finances.
I control my spending habits.
I control my spending habits.
And y'all know this is my favorite part, so say it like you mean it. I am not a consumer.
I am not a consumer.
I am an investor.
I am an investor.
My money works for me.
My money works for me.
All things are possible to me because I believe.
All things are possible to me because I believe.
I am financially sexy.
I am financially sexy.
And I won't give up.
And I won't give up.
Oh, guys, thank you so much for engaging in that with me. That is something that's very important in how we really want people's lives to change and how we really want things to shape in people's lives. So thank you for participating and saying it with some enthusiasm. So I really appreciate you. I know there's I don't know how many new people we have on the call tonight, but if you are new on the call tonight, you don't have to say anything. If you just want to raise your hand, because we do like to acknowledge any new people that we have on the call. And so that I can say hi and welcome to you. Any new people? Okay, great. Mr. Wright, wonderful. So lovely, Jameson, I want to thank you for being on the call tonight. As usual, we always want to be appreciative of people's time. So we know people work all week. So we want to make sure that this time is valuable and we give you some good content that you can use and take home with you. And we have Mr. Brian White on the line, which is a friend of mine. I invited him tonight. It was really like a last minute call. I was on the phone with him. I was like, come on and join the call. So he did. So I thank you for coming on. And Christine and Amber, we want to thank you for being on the call tonight. I'm sure you'll have learn some good stuff, get some good content. If any of you would like to say something, you are free to do so, but you are not obligated. You can unmute yourself and say whatever you like to say. Again, you're not obligated. So the floor is yours at the moment. We give you a couple of seconds. Going once.
Hi, so this is Amber. I'm actually Rochelle Harrell's niece, and Christine Smith is my mother. So this is my first time on here. So I just wanted to say hi to everyone and thank you for having me on.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for saying something. We appreciate you always. Anyone else? Going once, going twice. Okay, so with that being said, we're just going to go ahead and move on with our program tonight. Sabor, I'm just going to introduce you to some already know you, some don't. And then you can take over from there if you like. So I want to present to some and introduce to others our founder of our program, the Debt Weapon Program, Mr. Sabor Demiri. Wave your hand so they'll know who you are, sir. Sabor Demiri is a wonderful individual. He has a compassion and a desire to help people to make moves in their lives and to help them get ahead. He is an entrepreneur. He is a property owner. He owns about 29 properties. He is a mortgage note broker. He has accolades. I can't remember them all. I had them written down. But he has colleagues that they run. They have about, I think it was $2.4 million in acquisitions on different properties and different things. And he is known as the note broker in the note broker world. And I'm going to turn it over to him, and I'll be back at the end.
Hey, everybody. So I'm not going to talk a lot tonight. I want to follow up from last week because last week was very good. But I just want to do a quick roundtable. We have a lot of people out this week, but a lot of people have sent me text messages and stuff like that, letting me know their accolades and the milestone that they achieved this week. So I want to first start with everybody else. Anybody got any good news before I share the people that's out good news?
I have good news, Tanisha.
Yes.
Hey, Renee and I are working on a strategy that is going to free some stuff up, and I can't wait until it is finalized and I get to share it with you in a couple of weeks.
All right, appreciate you. Anybody else?
We had good news this week. First, it was we had an auto loan removed off of our credit report. So both of our credit reports are clear and free of everything. And Michelle couldn't be on tonight, but her score went up 15 to put her back in the 700 club, which is a little over. My score went up 32 points.
Awesome.
And also, we have applied for the Navy Fed flagship card, and we were approved today for $7,000.
Nice. Congratulations.
Awesome.
What I'm talking about.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
Making moves.
So for the people that don't know about Telly and Michelle, she's not here tonight, but I always congratulate them because they're less than a year. They came in the program where they were actually told they had to file bankruptcy. They had no way out. They came in the program with a $500 secured card. To this day, they're roughly $62,000 in unsecured credit that they can actually leverage to build for real estate. And their credit scores have jumped from the low 500s all the way into the 700s. So I'm very, very proud of them. And this all took a matter of a couple of months. So I always
She was low 5. I was low 4.
Listen, you can talk about it now, Telly. That's right.
Yeah,
Let us know where you
I mean,
came from. That's right.
From 430 to 650. That's a significant jump.
You still growing though, man. You're still growing. I mean, you have nothing up for you now. And before I go to the next person, whoever want to share, I just want to say this because I was talking to one of the coaches. A lot of times, man, I don't know if we have any people in here that study psychology, but there is a thing in psychology that's called dequalifying the good, right? So a lot of time we focus on the negative and all the good things that's positive, small milestones that we achieve, we always overlook them. You know what I'm saying? I came from a low 400 to a 650 with no enthusiasm. Bro, get excited about that because you have to focus on your positive, those milestones that you're making. We don't focus on the negative. You may see somebody else in the group that's getting a $10,000, a $20,000, a $30,000 credit card, but you're making moves. You know what I'm saying? We put ourselves in our position and we continuously always dequalify our own good. We have to actually qualify the things that we achieve. You know, I'm not the richest person in the world, but I definitely am content and happy where I'm at because it's not where I was. You know what I'm saying? So please don't downplay nobody on this call. Please don't downplay your progress. We all are coming up, and and there's nowhere to go but up from here. Okay.
Amen.
Amen. Absolutely.
Anybody else got anything good news to share?
Well, I mean, it's not like good news, but y'all know this, but we talked about it last week, but I'm so excited that I'm going to tell it again that we done put our money down on another property, me and my partners, and I am super excited because I got an email today that we're going to be closing, I think later next week. So I am super excited
Congratulations.
to do this property. And again, since I've been in this program, I've been able to buy and flip 5 doors. So I'm really, 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 really excited. So
Yeah,
I'm supposed to tell y'all that. That's why I be pumped up every Friday.
yeah, I know, right?
Congratulations.
Another thing is, y'all gotta remember, Renee came in here in the program. She's like, "Oh no, I'm not." Oh, she was nervous wreck every day calling me. I'm like, "Renee, stop it!" You know. So we prayed on it. We prayed on it. You know, we put God over us and we prayed on it.
Yeah.
She's on her 6th door. She done flipped on 5 doors already, and you know, it's nothing but growth for her too. So that's what I want for everybody in this program, to actually be able to learn how to leverage and how to move forward, and don't be afraid, because now you know how when I say she came in the program with fear. Now I say, "Hey, Renee, I got a new deal." She's like, "I'm on it." You know, she don't let me finish. I don't tell her what the deal is. She's like, "Let me know where I need to be at." You know, and that's how I want everybody on this call to say, "I'm on it." You know, so I definitely congratulations to all the members that move forward to the next stage and buying more properties. I know Rochelle and Armando, they're already looking on the next property. Raheem, Rocky stays on looking for the next property already. So everybody's growing. I'm proud. 2022 is ours. Anybody else got good news to share?
I have a little good news, if you don't mind, Sabor. So my cousin Lisa, she's beautiful. She's been coming to the meetings. Maybe tonight she couldn't make it, but she was inspired with last week's meeting, and she was there at the meeting, and she took advantage of getting some increases on her credit, and I'm really proud of her for that. She was able to get a credit card increase of 9,000 on one of her cards.
That's wonderful.
Wow, that's wonderful.
The concept of the debt weapon, and she was also to get an additional card for 2,500. So she's trying to increase her credit score, and she really likes the program. I know she's got 3 kids. She's a single mom, so maybe it was a challenge to get here tonight, but I just encouraged her to watch the recordings, whatever she can, to help her grow her mindset, you know, and to keep going. So I'm just really proud of her. I wanted to throw that out there. Yeah.
Nice.
That's blessing. Yeah, I'm proud of her. Tell her join the program. She get that one-on-one coach. Make sure she get going in the right direction. Now, one thing about coaching, and one thing I love about this program, is that, you know, we all want to get somewhere, right? But sometimes we don't have that map. We don't have a direction. I think of this program as GPS. Your coaches is giving you a actual map, an actual roadmap, an actual plan that you can actually execute in it. And it's very simple. How many people could tell? Is this program hard? I mean,
No.
It's more mental mindset shift.
It's mindset,
but it's not hard at all.
But in a good direction, though, mindset in the good direction. It's good. It's good habits. You know, breaking those bad habits.
Yes, it's
absolutely.
Mindset, the way you think about money, the way you process money, the way you process credit. You know, we all came in with the belief that credit is bad or whatever. You know, whatever our old negative beliefs is. This program is actually changing those mindsets. So again, you know, if anything we can do, just make sure you have a roadmap, that GPS, that it points you in the right direction. You know, how many people, you know, try to open up the old maps when you're trying to get somewhere? And now you have GPS on your phone, you right here. So that's what we want to make. You're going to the right path.
Yep. Yeah, definitely, because every person, you know, situation is different, you know, so we just want to make sure we're giving them the right tools and the right resources that fit their situation so that they'll get the best results possible. So,
But one thing that you guys do though too, Renee, is that you make us see things as you're solution minded instead of seeing it as the ability not to do it. So you're like, well, basically be tough for a while in order for you to get where you want to go versus it taking 6 months for you to get to where you want to go when it could take 2 or 3.
Right.
Yeah.
Taking years. With this program, that weapon itself, it takes years off of your amortized loan. It takes years to all the years that you would actually spend on a car note, on a mortgage. It takes those years off and put that money back into your household to increase your cash flow. So that's the power of the program. And not only that, by doing that, you also see the correlation of proper banking and boosting your credit scores so that you can actually use your credit scores, I call it your adult report card, to invest. And that's what we want people to do, be able to invest in themselves. You know, some people get to the point they don't even have to go and ask for a loan. You know, some people on this call already just leverage their credit cards. They go take the money off their credit card. They use a monthly cash flow to pay back their card. Rochelle is one of them. You know, she actually just liquidates. First time I had to do walking through it.
I know, help me. Thank you, Samora.
She liquidated her credit card for a real estate property. You know what I mean? Like, she didn't have to go to a bank and get it pre-approved. She didn't have to do some of the stuff that we teach in this program. She actually have the cash flow that she can actually go to her cards now and take money off her credit cards to buy a property. How many people can do that? You know,
so State Board, just before we move on, I just want to give a big shout out to Tamika. We had our session today, and I really have to say that this young lady is definitely making strides. Her mindset has changed from, well, I need that too. Well, maybe I don't need that too. Okay, I'm getting rid of this because I can do this instead of that. So I do really want to give her some props tonight. If y'all could just give her a hand and just let her know, what she's doing is great. So really good strides. So I wanted to just encourage her, because let me tell you something, breaking old habits is not easy, right? For some people, it's a real struggle. And she's really pushing through this, and she's really have her mindset to where she's like, I really need to do this. She even told me today, Renee, well, she always say to me, I know she was, what, Renee? What, Renee? What?
You got it down pat.
Yeah, she got me down pat, but she knows what I'm telling her is going to serve her in her best interest. So I just want to really give her props today, because she really has come a long way.
Yes.
Woo!
Yes. Proud of you. So before we go on, we got a guest speaker tonight, Salvador. He's going to talk about his journey in real estate. But for the people that's on the private Facebook group, this week I had posted about Black buying power. The news article. I hope that you all watched it. If you did not watch it, please go back and watch it. But it was talking about minorities' buying power, how it has increased from last year, basically from 2020. Blacks are up, Hispanics are up. However, we still lack net worth. Okay. And in the end of that article, what they were talking about is the reason why I was watching is because credit bureaus, since COVID happened, a lot of people became more credit conscious, start opening up small businesses, start investing more, start relying basically on self and not jobs, right? Because, with COVID, a lot of people lost their jobs or were laid off for the time being. In that article, it was talking about how our buying power has increased, yet our net worth, is still lagging behind generations. And they're talking about 4 generations in this article. But again, the reason why I started watching it is because they were actually talking about the credit bureau changes. Inquiries are going to be harder to remove from your credit reports, as we already seen previous years. Also, with the credit bureaus, they're trying to make it harder because a lot of us are no longer predatory lenders. You know what I mean? You think about the people on this call, how many people went from, low 400s to in the 700 club or higher now. You're no longer a predator. You no longer have the Capital One cards or the Credit One cards. You know what I mean? Now you're getting the high purchase cars, and it's happening a lot. You know, a lot of times people want to tell me about prices that other people are charging and the programs they have. To me, you know, I don't care how what the price is, as long as the information gets out there, right? So because there shows growth, our communities are growing, but they're changing the practices and policies to actually try to still keep us behind. They're changing the practices and policies to keep predatory loans and lending practices in place, which banks have been doing for years. So I just want everybody to watch that video that's on the private Facebook group and be mindful of what we say in this program. I am not a consumer, I am an investor, okay? So that way you not fall back into that trap and fall back into that predatory lending, paying high interest, being stuck living paycheck to paycheck. You know, y'all know the rat race that I'm talking about. We up there now, you know, so stay up, basically. You know, we all up there now. You know, so I'm going to end with that. But with Salvador, can you please introduce yourself, good sir? So Salvador is actually a good friend of Rochelle and Armando. He was on the call last week, and after the call, I found out he was a real estate investor. So I reached out to him and said, "Wait, what?" So I wanted him to come on and share his journey with real estate with us, and to give us some encouragement and to learn a little bit about what he do. Okay, so I'm going to myself.
Welcome. Thank you.
Well, thank you for inviting me to be part of this. Obviously, for what I've seen from yesterday and today, you guys are doing a great job. Congratulations on those other folks that are getting properties or getting in the process of getting properties. And for those that boosted their credits. And one thing I would have to say is, I don't know where you were when I was younger, because I could have definitely used your help back then, you know. So I struggle. I went through all the ups and downs, and it took me a while to get where I'm at. Having said that, you know, we do have some properties. We're considered an investor now, and you know, we have about 14 properties in California, 13 in Tennessee. We have one in Mexico, which is an Airbnb, and we're getting ready to get another property, which is also going to be an Airbnb. And then we're looking into Kansas City as well as a new market to go into it as well. So we're growing not fast, but we're growing at a pace that I like at this point. We got into real estate, believe it or not, through watching you know, HGTV, Flip a Home, and we did all the no-nos that you know, back then there wasn't all this literature that was out there. So we did all the mistakes. We bought a house with a pool. You know, it was a 5-bedroom. It needed everything, pretty much. So I'm actually Air Force. I retired from the Air Force after 24 years. And I bought this property while still in the Air Force. And I remember filling up the pool at 3 o'clock in the morning and working on dishwasher in my uniform as I was getting ready to go to work. So we changed light bulbs and the whole thing exploded. You know, it reminded me of the person that drove the car and all they did was put gas in it, and everything that could go wrong was wrong. And I told my wife, I said, we'll be in and out of here in 2 weeks. 3 months later, she's like, I am not coming to this house anymore. I'm like, honey, we cannot afford to pay anybody. We got to do it ourselves. But having said, we still get the property. It's still rented. It's been a great income out of it. We filled in the pool last year. We got rid of the pool, which is kind of a liability as an investor. So don't buy a house with a pool unless you plan on living in it. So, you know, that was our lesson that we learned, and we learn a lot from it. You know, from changing toilets to painting to not the perfect painter, but you know, it worked. So it rented that way. So, and from then we went little by little. I have used, you know, my credit. I boosted my credit, and you know, I actually it's gotten better, a lot better, and you know, I'm on the 800 plus or so. But it took me many years. I never seen that number before. And it took a lot of hard work, of course, a lot of hard work and a lot of being financially savvy, not buying, you know, the expensive car, but buying a car that will get you to and from work and, you know, has air conditioner and stuff like that, and not all these, other things where I could invest that money someplace else. So being responsible like you guys are doing, like you were talking about, Tamika, like, do I really need this or I don't need this? Making those hard choices. But I don't think it's hard in a sense, because once you get to where you want to and you want to be comfortable, then you can achieve anything. Now I left I retired when in the private sector, came back to the Air Force, and I left civil service last year with a good paying job, and now I live off my real estate. Now my wife and I, we get to do what we want to do when we want to do it. We go out to eat, we go to travel, we go down to our house on the Baja on the beach, and chill out for a few days or whatever, and come back and stop, see family, and so on and so forth. So that's the freedom. I mean, you don't have to have $1 million in the bank or anything like that. As long as you can have your real estate replace your income and be comfortable, then you're good. My wife had a daycare when we started this. She had a license up to 14 kids. I would never do it. As a matter of fact, when she put me in charge, I would be like, honey, when she'd be leaving the door and I'd be calling her like, these kids are running all over me. I need you to get back ASAP, please. So, but she left her job or her business. She asked me one time, she said, "Can I do it?" And I said, "Well, let's see if you can do it, and we can afford it." And likely because of real estate, that's how we were able to afford those things. So. Questions?
I got a question.
Questions if you...
I got a question for you. So I know you say you have 14. So the first property, you leverage your credit, right?
I did, yes. I currently have 10 mortgages in my name. As an investor, you can have up to 10 mortgages. After the second mortgage, you're considered an investor, meaning that you can own your primary home and then you can buy a second home. And after that, you go into the window where you have to pay it, put down 25% down. But you can get 10 mortgages. So if your wife and you work, your spouse or whoever, they can have 10 mortgages and you can own 10 mortgages. So technically you can own 20 properties.
So
that's one way. Yeah.
So you never put your properties in an LLC. All your properties are in your personal name?
No, actually, they're all the deeds are in the LLCs. All the properties are in the LLC except for my
deeds in the LLC.
Primary.
Itself, is in your the mortgage is in your name.
The mortgage is in my name, but is the mortgage is so the properties are under the LLC, which provides limited liability up to $1 million in case I get sued. So they're protected per se. So the mortgage is just more of a guarantee guarantee that you will pay XYZ dollars. But one of the things that I do want to point out, though, now that I left my W-2 job, your buying power kind of goes down as far as getting another mortgage. Like if I was to pay a mortgage, it would be really hard to get a mortgage in my name, because even though we own all these properties, the tax deductions of it is so great that your taxable income becomes like this. Mm-hmm. So when lenders look at it, conventional loans look at it, like, oh, well, you only make this much money, but you were making this much money before. So now you can really afford this house per se. But there's other ways. I mean, I've done a commercial loan just recently. I've done creative financing. I use credit cards to purchase homes. I use an investor with hard money that purchased homes and stuff. We built a good rapport with her, and that helped us out a lot. I mean, we borrowed some money from her, and my goal was always to pay her off right away. She gave us up to 7 years, which is kind of unheard of, and it was interesting, interest only loan. And
hard money?
Hard money. Yeah, wow. Yeah. Yep, and we paid her off in 6 months. I put everything that I had, all my income from the Air Force or whatever, I put it all in there, the business, and I paid her off in 6 months. And she says, anytime you need money, let me know. And we did. We find a good deal and we jump on it, and sure enough, pay her off again. And we paid her off I did a lot of refinancing a few years back, and we paid her off. I think it was almost close over $500,000 that we paid her off when we did that refinancing. And I'll tell you, I mean, the door is open there if I ever want to do it. Not that I want to do it now. I mean, you know, it costs a lot of money to get hard money. Now I can do commercial loans or something else, or cash if I want to.
Yeah, so in our program, we try to, that's the main thing, is because a lot of times when we're trying to start our real estate journey, we're looking for loans, we're looking for partners, we're looking for hard money lenders. And you don't actually have to have that when you know how to leverage your credit and you have that investor in your back pocket. You know, most of our people will require at least a minimum of 120 in the business credit, $1 million. So that's all buying power right there. You know, like you said, you bought properties off credit. I bought all my properties off credit. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't have to worry about that. And like you took all your net income and dropped it back down to that card. You end up paying off that. I mean, that loan that you took out, you end up paying off in 6 months, right? But
I did, yeah.
Think about it. If you did it with your credit card, you don't have to go back and apply for a new loan. That's recycled money. So that's what we try to teach in this program.
Right.
So my next question is for you is, for the people that have not bought properties, right? How hard is the process? Like really, like to me, it's only 3 steps. You know, find the property, put the earnest money down, and then close. But like, how hard do you think it is as far as buying your property?
Well, you know, I follow different groups. I don't belong to a particular group. You know, I follow like biggerpockets.com. I listen to Anderson Business Advisors. I listen to the tech stuff, and I listen to other people as well. But it seemed like they always come back to people get into analysis paralysis. You know, they evaluate a property and they go, yes, no, yes, no. Should I do it or should I not? And then when they decide to do it, the property is no longer available or it's gone, right? So then, or they lose out on the deal. So I do think that as long as you, you know, like you say, you identify the property, if the numbers work, then that in itself, it should be a good thing. You should get pre-qualified already if you're going to do a conventional loan. Try to get a pre-qualification, because pre-qualification is going to open doors. So the realtor is not going to show you any properties unless you're pre-qualified, because they're not going to waste their time. Either you're serious or you're not serious about it. And then you should, you know, put aside the money that you want to put down on a property. You know, think of what you want to spend. Do you want to spend $50,000? You want to spend $100,000? You want to spend $1 million? How much of a down payment you're going to have to put down? And sometimes, you know, that can hinder people getting into certain properties, but there's ways around. You know, you can have your parents or somebody give you a gift, you know, and that could be your down payment for this property. And you can pay them back if that's the case, or whatever the case may be. There's ways around it, or get, you know, somebody else that can help you out, you know, like an investor or some friends and stuff. Something that doesn't show up on your credit, and you can still get the property as well. And then, you know, once you have that, then you move forward, and then you obtain the properties and stuff. But I do think, you know, education is everything. You know, I don't believe on paying for education. I mean, this is, I'm not talking about, I'm talking about real estate. Like, you know, people want to say, I've been to I've been to some programs, I should say, I'm not gonna pinpoint. I've been to some programs that, you know, some of these programs are $50,000. And I'm like, you know, I may not be the smartest guy in the room, but I can go ahead and figure it out. And sure, I did figure it out. It might take me a little bit longer and stuff, but I figure out some of the things. Have I figured out everything? No. I will tell you that if you think that you know everything that there is about real estate, there's always something else that comes up that's like, whoa, you know, I don't do flip homes like Renee does. It's just too time consuming for us. We do passive income, and we do the Airbnb. Right now, I'm at, you know, at a stage where we want to enjoy our time. So for me, doing a flip, it will require being hands-on and being there. But there's other people that love that, and that's great. You know, that more power to you. There's good money to be made.
Renee doesn't actually fix and flip and per se. So what our partners, what we do is we'll buy a property, we'll fix it up, and we sell or finance it to an end user that has poor credit or has issues getting financing, right? So we'll put them, say we buy a property for 50,000. Our mindset is every dollar out, $2 in. So we'll sell or finance it to somebody for 100,000 on an 8 to 10% interest rate, whatever that amortizes out to 750. They pay us 750 a month. There's a secondary market that actually buys those loans, but now we're their bank, right? So if I wanted to keep that loan for 30 years on 100,000, they'll end up paying me all close to 300,000 on that loan if they pay it out for 30 years, right? So what me and Renee and some of the partners do on here, we'll actually create the note, the mortgage, and then we sell it. Like banks, if anybody own the property, you had A, B, C, and then next, you get a letter X, Y, Z. Normally, that's what my job is. I'm an acquisition man. X, Y, Z takes over that property, takes over that mortgage note. So that's what Renee does. She generates, she buys the property, originates the note, becomes the bank, get that monthly cash flow, wait a couple of months, and then she sells the note off. She sells it. So, and she'll sell it off at a percentage, but she's going to make that spread in between that, you know what I'm saying, from selling it off. She doesn't get the interest that she would normally get off the loan, but she'll get the unpaid principal balance, so 50, 100, she'll get an unpaid principal balance of 100. She'll walk away with like 90 out of that. So she made a $40,000 spread. So that's what I teach in this program. And so that's what she said. She's flipped 5 doors working on her 6. So that's basically what we do in this program. So, but we do have contractors that go out, do our repairs. And again, I want to teach people like you to make passive income. I don't believe in rentals. I stopped doing rentals years ago. I hate being, like when I own my property, but my bank own my property because I have a mortgage on it, right? I can't call them and say, hey, I got a leaky faucet, toilet, sink. You find your own contract. I don't care. You know what I mean? What they got to do with that? So that's what I want to teach. That's what I teach people in this program. We don't worry about the leaky faucets, the toilets, the renters, or people destroying the property when they move out, and all that stuff. We're giving people an opportunity to own a home, but we're also their bank, that where we make a monthly cash flow off of that. So that's right. What we do. Seller financing, basically, guys.
Well, that's great. Actually, I think that's a good program. It allows people to. There's so many need for affordable housing, so that's a great idea, and that's a really good thing that you guys are doing. I commend you for that, because obviously people do need homes, and when you do own your own home, you appreciate the home probably more than if you were just a renter and stuff. And you're like, okay, I'm just here temporarily, but your own home, it's a lot different. So you have ownership on it, and yeah, obviously you're going to take care of it and stuff. But that's actually. That's pretty good. Yeah. We might have to talk off site and stuff on this.
I got a question for you. So what's the worst horror story you've seen? All your properties are rentals, right?
All my properties are rentals, yeah. It's renting is not for everybody. I can tell you that it's always been all hunky-dory, and and it's always been a good thing. I mean, I had to evict people. I had evicted people in Tennessee. I'm actually getting ready to evict someone as well right now. Renovations, leaky toilets and stuff like that. We do our own property management here in California. And in Tennessee, we have a PM over there. We do our own maintenance, meaning that I have people that will go and fix a plumber and stuff instead of actually paying a property manager XYZ dollars.
What's your PM cost in Tennessee?
What's that?
What's your PM cost? Your
8%.
Every month? Boy, me and you gotta talk.
No, 8% every month. 8% every month. Yeah, 8% every month.
8%. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Like 15. I was like 15. So what's the horror story that you've seen in one of your like walking in after somebody moved out, like the repair cost, like what like the worst thing you've seen?
So I think I guess I could speak for the ones here. Well, actually, I can speak for the one in Tennessee just that we purchased. We purchased this property and we got a contractor and it went south. I mean, he was a veteran, so you know, I do. We have built a report and stuff, and he was fixing my houses. But here in December, we find out that he actually rented my house without my knowledge. Had a dog in the house that basically used the bathroom in my house. Paid for renovations that were not done. Now I'm having to replace a roof, subflooring, you name it, pretty much, and obviously rip the whole floors that we had initially started putting in there because of the dog. So that's going to cost me a nice little penny for it to fix it, or I can sell it. I didn't pay too much for it. You know, I bought it when the market was kind of starting to come up.
Tennessee is cheap.
We paid 18.5 for it.
Yeah, Tennessee is very cheap. Yeah. Everybody used to ask me like, "How are you finding $50,000 property?" I'm like, Tennessee. Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee is a place.
Hey, Salvador, I just heard you say you're thinking about selling it. Maybe we should have a conversation offline.
Well, it depends if the numbers work.
Yeah, the numbers work. I just seen that was an avenue for an opportunity. You just opened the door.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, you know, we don't usually get rid of properties. We got rid of one property in Tennessee a couple of years ago, and that was just because of the area. And then the person that was in there, it was kind of I don't know if you know the class A, B, C, D, you know. And it was kind of like a border D, maybe D minus, D plus, or whatever. And it's just we're gonna have a hard time renting it.
What's your favorite city in Tennessee?
What's my favorite city?
Yeah, like what property that you see?
So we buy in Memphis, Tennessee. I would say my favorite city because I used to work for a company. Their headquarters was in Nashville. I like Nashville a lot, and so that's a really nice area.
Well, I buy a lot of properties in Tennessee and Jackson, and a lot of people are scared of those areas. You know, we buy in a certain zip code. We know it's a middle class zip code that's down there in Memphis. That I always tell people focus on when they starting their real estate journey. Focus on this zip code, and it has become it's very, very profitable. Like you said, though, you can buy 8.5 property down there, but is it going to be a D class, C class neighborhood, borderline? Like what type of tenants you're going to get, you know? So yeah, that's why I asked what part of Tennessee you're buying in.
Right. So we used to have a rule. I mean, obviously Tennessee is far, but we used to have a rule when we're getting the properties here. We will go on a Friday and a Saturday night and drive around the properties that we're thinking of buying. And we would see what was going on and see what the neighborhood was doing. And, you know, we see people walking around or not walking around, whichever the case may be. And that's how we bought the properties and stuff, because we knew that were good neighborhoods and stuff. And the zip codes, you know, they're that we buy, we do have selected zip codes that we do purchase and stuff. And I do rely a lot on my realtor and stuff. He's an investor as well. Oh, but so the worst story, that's probably the worst story right now, because it's going to cost me quite a lot of money to fix it up. But the rental income that I could get from it, because where it's at is actually a good area. So that's
you're really close to 1,000 to between 7 to 1,000 in that area.
I could get around between 1,000 to maybe close to 12 probably. So even if I invest a little bit, you know, in the long run, we'll probably get our money back on that property.
Have you ever thought about doing any seller financing on your properties instead of selling them?
Well, you know, I actually have a tenant that wants to sell, that wants to buy my property, and we kind of did a little handshake agreement that he could buy the property, but unfortunately, because of his wife had a student loan that she let it go into default, it messed up his credit, because, you know, this is community property in California, so he cannot qualify, even though he's more than qualified. He's a veteran as well, so he could use his VA financing. as well.
I'm talking about, have you ever thought about seller financing? You put it on a term for them for 30 years, the interest rate, and they still renting it, but basically their rent's own. That's basically what seller financing is. They're buying that property. Have you ever studied seller financing before?
I glanced at it, but I actually need to get savvy enough for that because this one does have a mortgage. So I don't want the note to be due, what's it called? Due on.
Oh yeah, due on say clause. Yeah.
Yes.
So when a due on say clause is actually, I have properties that have mortgages on them. You just do a table contract, which is called a land contract. California is a contract for deed. And it doesn't activate the due on say clause. I mean, there's ways around it, and it's still perfectly legal, and that people still have ownership in the property. It's still recorded with the county. They still show title, deed, quitclaim deed, but it shows that you are still the owner with the underlying mortgage and allows you to collect payments from them. And it does basically activate the due on say clause. So.
Oh, okay. Oh, something to explore, definitely. Because isn't that on our financing usually a balloon payment or a large payment, and then they have XYZ years to get their own
No. Like sometimes, man, we'll buy properties that have renters in place already. We'll buy, like, somebody previously had that property with a renter in it, and we'll buy that property and go straight to the tenant and like, hey, we're going to take your past previous rent roll that you paid, not to us, but to the person, and use that as your down payment to keep you at the same mortgage payment. I just don't want to be a landlord. I like to be in the bank. You know what I mean? So that's our goal. Is to say, hey, we'll take your past previous rent roll, even though, and just amortize the rest of it for whatever the term that satisfies you, 20, 15, 30 years. And I'm the bank now. I don't have no hands-on approach to it, just seller finance it.
Interesting. Okay. Oh, I definitely have to explore that then, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can actually do it with an underlying mortgage. It's just you want to do a quick claim. I'm sorry. You're going to do a quick claim deed also with the land contract. The land contract is what was actually held by you or the closing attorney that binds that. And the good thing with that is, think about it like this: you sell a financing property. I did it 5 times. You sell a finance somebody a property, right? Say I've sell finance somebody a property for 100,000, right? They default. That property is still in your name. You don't have to do a foreclosing process. You just go to the court, say, hey, they pay as agreed. They have 30 days to move out. They put a fence up. They put some decorations in the front. They have forced appreciation on that property, not knowing it. Now that property praises for 150. Guess what I can do? I can go sell that property for a higher price, 200. Now I got another tenant in there that's doing the same thing. Amortized 200, 8% interest rate on a 30-year. They default. They forced appreciation. They changed the paint, light fixtures, flooring. Now that property praises for 250. I can continuously do that every time somebody default, because that's what banks do to us. That's what's the power. That's the power that we teach in this program: how to be the bank, how to actually sit back, collect that principal and interest payments. Anybody ever bought a car or a mortgage and you end up looking at the truth in lending statement? Every car come with the truth in lending statement, right?
Yep.
Okay. So in a truth in lending statement, say you buy a house for 100,000, you look at that truth in lending statement and you end up paying close to 100,000 or more for just on interest for that property. So, that's the power of what we're teaching y'all in this program to be the bank. And, but anyway, we'll talk sideline, Salvador, because you have 14 properties. I'm pretty sure once you lay back and just like, boom, you're like, holy moly, you're going to open your eyes to a different world on that one, though. Anybody, I'm talking, me and Salvador start building over here. Anybody else have any question for Salvador? Let me shut up.
Yeah, I just want to know where he said his Airbnb was, because I might have to rent it one day.
Oh, it's down the Baja. It's called Ensenada. It's about an hour and a half from San Diego border down to this little town that the cruise ships go there every weekend or every day, pretty much. So it's a nice, beautiful area at the beach, and fishing, swimming. It's actually, we weren't going to rent it out because we bought it from this American couple. out there, and he was getting up in age and stuff. And we bought the house, and I told my wife, I was like, look, it's a house on the beach and needs maintenance, because you always try to stay on top of the rust. And so sure enough, we do it, and the income has been really good. It's been a lot better even than my rentals. There's a lot of moving parts to it, but I like that. Now that I don't have a job, it just kind of keeps the wheels moving and getting spider webs and stuff. So so that's the good part of it.
So being a landlord as with tenants and then doing the Airbnb, what are the pros and cons between the two?
Well, the landlord, I think, because we do our own property management here, we get to vet our own tenants, and we have tenants that have been there for very, very many years, and we do raise the rent, not every year, but we do raise the rent every once in a while, because everything goes up, of course, and so we done pretty good on that. When we started, we did a few mistakes and stuff, and we learned from those. For the ones in Tennessee, it's been interesting, but the property manager does a really good job in vetting them and stuff. I have purchased properties, and most of our properties that when we started buying them in Tennessee were with renters in it already, and they were there a long time, and there's still some of them are still in there, several of them. So the ones in Tennessee, buying them without not seeing them or vetting the tenants, and obviously that I think that's the cons, I guess, if that. And then the repairs or not seeing the properties to the shape. Now we can, because we've done this a while, we can go into a house and we can say, okay, yeah, it needs flooring, painting, stuff like that, and we can actually evaluate how much it's really going to cost. So when contractor tells me, oh yeah, the toilet is going to cost you $300, I'm like, you can go to Costco and buy it for $99. I don't think you're going to charge me $200 to install a toilet, or a toilet rate where it costs $10 at Home Depot, so we know we can actually do that portion of it. For the Airbnb, I would say for the most part, it's been really good. I would say 99.9% has been good. 1% is probably we have some issues with some tenants that either left the house real dirty or broke something. And then there's recourses to get that money back. But you have to stay on top of it. We're a super host for Airbnb and HomeAway or VRO. And that takes a lot of time. When you get an email, you have so much time to respond and constant communication and so on and so forth. And and making them feel safe, because people are sometimes like, oh, Mexico, oh, blah blah blah. Really? Well, go down to Compton and see if you get shot or not. Or go drive on the highway here and and get shot on the highway and stuff. So sometimes people make it more than what it is and stuff. And we don't have those problems. All that area is tourism, and the last thing they want to do is lose the tourism, because that brings a lot of dollars to that area. I'm sorry.
With the property management in Texas, you said you pay 8%. It's 8% of what, the rent?
8% of the rent, yeah. They're actually in Tennessee. Yes, they 8%. The normal, I would say the normal for property management is between, if you get an 8%, is actually probably a good deal. And depending what, you got to read the contract. And I really read the contract, because there are certain things in there like, hey, what about this? Like they will have a clause that I had to use their own real estate, because they're realtors too. Because a broker, in order to be a property manager, you have to be a broker, which means you're a realtor, and then you get either a master's degree or something like that, and you become a broker, and then you open your PM, your property management company. So for 8%, it's actually pretty good. So the clause that one of the clauses that I didn't like was the fact that I had to use them to sell my properties. And I said, no, I want to use whoever I want to. I'm going to give the business to whoever gave me that property initially, which is my investor, my real estate my realtor over there. I'm gonna give him that business.
I know who your PM is already. Then when you said that.
Okay. We
All right.
won't mention names to protect the innocent.
Gotta be Chris Core. Is it Chris?
So,
No, it's not Chris Core. Okay.
no, it's not Cresco. No, it's not.
But
So
a lot of time with a PM too at 8%, they're gonna be doing the rehab costs if somebody move. They'll fix the property up if somebody move out, right, for you and get your
yeah, and I have a problem with that. And I'll tell you what the problem was. I had a property when I moved from Colorado to California, and we had this house built, and I rented it. I had a PM that was a mom and pop. It was great, fantastic, never had a problem, always collect the rent. And then he decided to get out of business and sold it to Remax. And then I became a number. And then every time I turned around, I was paying $300 for this, $200 for that. I was paying anywhere from $5,000 to $7,000 more on rehab or fixing things. So it got at one point, I said the dishwasher is broken. I'm like, why didn't you get the money from the other people? You know, because I have a deposit. Well, we already given the money, so sorry, but we can't rent it if you don't fix the dishwasher. And I'm like, that's my fault. That should be your fault. Well, it's up to you. So it really put a sour taste on my mind about PMs. So that's why we did a property management here. And then for the one over there, we actually made an agreement that we will do. I don't mind the emails. I don't mind the text. Hey, you know, sell property, blah, 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 and is this. Okay, send it to the contractor. Or sometimes I even just have the emails go to the contractor. Bill me, tell me how much I owe, and I'll pay it. And then, you know, we're done. You know, if I'm done in Baja, you know, it may take me, you know, a minute or two to look at the text or the email and send it out to my contractor, and I can start drinking my Corona again, you know, and enjoy the beach and stuff. So it doesn't take me that much time now to do that. But you have to have a process. If you're just starting out and that's the only property you have, and it goes vacant and it costs a lot of money, yes, it's going to hurt a lot.
That's why I don't do it. Yeah, but I have a good GC for you if you need one over there in that area for you. He's excellent.
Sure, I'm always looking for good people.
He's a good GC.
Yeah.
Anybody else got any questions before we move on? All right. Well, I personally want to thank you, Salvador, man, for stopping by and sharing your experience with us. Definitely hope to hear more from you and learn more from you, especially with the rentals, because I know me personally, it has its ups and downs, you know, with that, and leveling that out and keeping the level head to see the, you know, the beauty of it can kind of be strenuous on people. So I think.
Thank you for your service too.
Yeah, thank you for your service too. Yeah, thank you for your service too. We got somebody out right now. So we definitely thank you for your service there.
Thank you, appreciate it. And thanks for inviting me to this forum. Appreciate it.
Always, man. Anything that you think of that you want to share with us, please stop by, share any new deals you got coming up. We love to hear them. We have guest speakers like Tim Crane that stopped by and share his current deals that's going on with us. There are people in the chat saying thank you too, just in case you didn't see the
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, so before we get off the call here, see if I can share my screen here. Everybody see my screen? I know what time it is.
Yes.
I know what time it is. We got a case.
Yes.
Let's get this case study done and these questions done so I can get y'all out of here. All right, so we have somebody that has a mortgage payment of $1,450, remaining balance of $180, a car payment of $430, with a remaining balance of $11,200, utility bills, food, etc., $1,100 a month. Credit card for $75 a payment a month. Balance is $1,500. And they almost maxed out, and the limit on that one is $16. And then they have a credit card too, $100 payment, balance is $2,000. That credit limit is $10,000. And so their monthly income is $3,800. I'm sorry, I skipped the savings. They have $2,855.
Hey, Sabor, you know it is 9 o'clock, right?
Yes, we're making this fast. Give me 15 minutes. I have them out of here.
Okay.
I want to make sure everybody get their case study this week. Somebody help me out here.
So you want to know what their Their cash flow is?
Yes, what's their expenses? Total
Their
month,
expenses are 2055. That's what
2050?
I think.
Hold on, we waiting on Rochelle to catch up. I mean, Raquel to catch up.
Raquel, yeah, to do her math.
Yeah, Raquel, the number girl. Go ahead, Raquel.
Actually, I'm wrong as heck.
Come on now. Mortgage, car payment, utilities, credit
Wow.
card one, credit card two.
Is it 3155? The heck?
It is 3155.
Okay.
So 3155.
That means that their cash flow currently is 645
645.
at the moment,
All right.
but they have $2,855 in savings. What they should do is liquidate their savings account and pay off their credit card. At least pay off that $2,000 credit card balance.
Mhm.
With the $2,000 savings, and they can also put $855 plus their $75 payment towards their
We're getting
$1,500 balance.
getting something. Think about that net cash flow.
The
Well, yeah,
the
well, the cash flow is 655.
Well, it's 745 if you pay off the 2,000.
Right. Okay.
So they'll pay off the 2,000 and then they'll tack the 1,500 with the remaining balance plus that 645.
Okay.
That
So
should
that should take care of it, actually.
actually take care of both of those.
Yep, because actually, yeah, because that actually leaves you with about another $100.
Right, so 645 plus $100 cash flow plus 75. We got 820 now. They have an 820 cash flow. So we paid off both credit cards by using the savings and that little bit of cash flow, that 645 they had every month. Now that increased their monthly cash flow to 820. Okay. Now look at the line of credit. How much is that line of credit?
Yeah, 10,000.
10,000 plus 1,600.
11,600.
Take both of those and pay the car off.
All right.
No.
No. You get, because you only can use 30% of it.
Okay,
So if you're looking at
30%.
They got 3,480. That's 30%.
3,480.
Yeah,
It's
3,480 plus the $430.
Okay. No, that's not included. That's their cash flow. You're adding. They still gonna
Oh,
make
sorry.
make that monthly payment all the time, right? We're talking about.
So they have the 3,480.
We're talking about
plus
cash
their cash flow of 820.
820. All right.
$4,300.
So how many months does it take me of 820 to pay back 3,480?
3,480. 4 months, a little over 4 months.
4 months and a quarter.
All right.
Yeah.
Can y'all see my screen here? Give me one
Yes.
second.
Yes.
All right.
4 months.
I want to make sure everybody's following along with me. Here. Let's see here. I'm gonna change this to. I'm trying to figure out the 7. Let me do 5 years. See if I get this close to what they're paying monthly. I'm probably gonna get this close to it, guys. I'm gonna try. I'm just gonna leave it here. All right. So yeah, 1120. We're dropping 340. 3480.
80. Mm-hmm.
So every 4 months, 1, 2, 3, 4, we drop another
3,480.
1, 2. Actually, that's it. So in 6 months, they'll have that car paid off free and clear. Close to 6 months. But if I drop another, well, I'll just put it here. that clears that car out in 6 months.
6 months.
In roughly 6 months. We took a car, we cleared out the credit card debts, and we cleared out the car. The car payment was how much a month?
$430.
What's that cash flow now?
430 plus 820.
What's that cash flow?
820.
820 plus 430 is 1250.
1250.
Yes.
1250 they brought back home. They cleared all their debts out. They cleared their debts out in a matter of weeks, and they took 6 months.
Now they can tackle that mortgage.
Now they can tax that mortgage at 180. Look at Raquel.
Raquel, you know about that, don't you?
Put a pin down like
I'm
that.
already ready. I want to tackle a mortgage so bad.
she's getting
Ready to
that
tackle
mortgage down.
mortgage.
She's getting that mortgage down. Y'all just don't know she's on that mortgage. Does that make sense to everybody? Anybody got questions? I know we go pretty fast on our case studies. We try to keep these case studies going to keep these people wheels turning and show them the power of what they can do once they leverage their credit and know how to pay off these debts fast. Again, this is the debt weapon program. We knock these debts out fast so we can bring back monthly cash flow so we can use that cash flow to invest and pay down. And just imagine they did the same concept at 1250 now and start attacking their mortgage, how fast they can knock off. So, anyways, I'm not going to do I guess I don't have time for the question because Renee trying to get me off the phone call.
Oh, I'm crying. I want the money. I want the money.
We can do that next week.
We could do it next week. Wait for Michelle to get back.
Yeah, we can do it next week.
Yeah, Michelle.
We good.
We gotta wait for Michelle to get back.
All right.
Kelly's like, listen, y'all not playing without my wife. She be winning.
Right.
Good looking out, Telly. Good looking out.
All right, y'all. So I'm going to stop screen sharing.
We be winning, if not just her.
Anybody got any questions about
That's
this?
right.
Okay, Telly. Yeah.
He don't be answering though. He take the wife money once she make it though. So no,
he's like when we win, when she wins, we win.
Yeah,
when somebody else win, we all win.
So normally what we do, guys, is we take previous lessons, people that's new on the call, and we make questions at the end of them. There's $25 per question that whoever answered they get. We send it to them through PayPal, through our business.
It's real money too. It's not monopoly money, people.
Yeah, we send it every week. So we missed last week, and we're gonna miss this week too. But that's what we do on these calls. We just want to let everybody know what we're talking about when we're talking about answering question session. We know we used to
possibly be $50 a question next week. You missed 2 weeks.
It might be. You never know.
Who knows? With Sabor, he might come back with $100. Who know what he's gonna do next week?
Well, Renee, let's count our blessings.
But again, I want to thank everybody for sharing your time with us. We try to keep it under an hour. I know last week we did like 2 hours. Anybody that wanted to catch our previous videos, they are on the YouTube under my name. It's the Debt Weapon Program. But I didn't realize I wasn't doing in the chats there. I'm going to start posting our link on the YouTube pages so people can actually access our group meeting. Somebody had mentioned it to me. Raheem, Assalamu alaikum, bro. What's going on, bro?
Hey, brother.
How y'all doing?
I'm good,
Good,
sir.
how are you?
Good.
So I just want to make sure anybody don't have any questions. We're all good this week.
Thank you, Salvador.
Thank you, Salvador. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Salvador. Appreciate you.
Great information, Salvador. Thanks.
All right. If not, I'm going to end, and I will see you all next week. Make sure y'all be ready. Do you know what I'm doing? I'm going to start doing like we used to do. I'm going to put the questions and answers at the beginning of the session after the round table. That way, so we won't skip it. just for next week, just for next week. All right?
And don't forget to stay on for like 10 minutes.
Yes, ma'am. All right.
Good night.
Bye, everyone. Have a good weekend.
Good night. Enjoy your weekend.
Good weekend.